And we are back in our broadcast program from Kyiv, from Ukraine. And stepping outside, we can see the Maidan Square with a lot of thousands and thousands of flags. We have been asking how many flags there are, because each of them are symbolizing one soul lost in this war, a young boy, a man, a woman, a civilian, and so on. Our colleagues here in Let's Do It Ukraine said that they don't know, but they cannot pass it because it's too heavy. They know all these people, or majority of the people, comrades, young friends, also Let's Do It Ukraine people. And it is a tradition already during all these 3 years that in Ukraine, exactly on 9 a.m. by Kyiv time, there will be a minute of silence, mourning all these people who lost their lives during this war. And at this time, there will be a loud speaking from the microphones going across all the city to talk about that this is a silent minute and asking people to stand and even the traffic to stop. And yesterday we witnessed it. There was a lot of people standing in mourning because it was a working day. Now it's a Saturday, after a lot of attacks. I hope we can see the people all on the streets. And let's see what the people are doing, if they're standing or not, but we will stand in solidarity with Ukraine and also with solidarity with all the world countries who have conflicts or wars, who have lost the people in their countries to some kind of war and conflict. And I cannot see too much of people, but let's see how the country is doing at 9 a.m. exactly. And on our behalf, we will be here observing the situation. Currently, the traffic is quite big. Cars are driving. I'm not sure that it's possible to stop, of course, but it has been great tradition already, as I said, in past 3 years. Yesterday we saw runners. People were walking by, going to metro, going to the work, simply standing all these minutes and thinking about their dear ones, loved ones, who they lost during this war. And then the life actually continued. Seems that the life is currently really ordinary. Buses are driving, people are going somewhere, doing the ordinary life and ordinary things. So we can see how this peaceful Saturday morning will look like. 9. No, nothing. So we didn't hear anything yet, but we have to come back to the studio, and it is a really great tradition. So we stand here and did our part, but we are moving back to studio because currently there is a time to move on with our program. And let's go and observe what is the media center doing, how the things are going up, with whom they have been talking with, what is our next program. And let's see what are the moods. And we can see the entrance to their Kola Media Center. Here are people cheering up, sitting, waiting. Here is our big studio. And in another side, we have technology and big studio here, working with different kind of equipment. Technology guys are purely from Estonia, came and drive with their own vehicle from Estonia to Ukraine. And here's our media center, working in some things. And let's see what is happening here. Some people are working. Hello, I'm asking from you. How are you doing today? Doing well.
Yeah.
You're doing well.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you, how you are doing? You are a bit, she's a bit shy. What is your name?
Руслана.
Руслана. Очень приятно. And how are you doing, Руслана?
Я дивлюсь хештег в Фейсбуці, хто нас відмічає.
Amazing. So you're working on social media. So
Yes.
If you talk about the campaign, which is worldwide level, the social media is very important. So you are actually learning, you're a student.
Студент.
In university, what you're studying?
Реклама, зв'язки з громадськістю, другий курс.
Ага.
In Київський столичний університет імені Бориса Грінченка.
That's so great. Thank you so much for giving your overview what you are doing and studying. So what is the main reason that you are here in the School of Medicine? What is your biggest motivation?
I want money.
You want money?
Yes.
I want money as well. And all the NGOs in this world needs money. And that was fun because resources are really important if you talk about the NGO. And I think young people, when they are starting their life, of course, income, and that's why you are studying, to have an income is very important. Thank you so much. And now we are going to the video, which is a big greeting from our patron, because patron for the Let's Do It World and for the World Cleanup Day is Roberta Metsola, who is European Parliament President. Let's see what she's saying regarding of the World Cleanup Day and why it's needed. Let's do it.
The mismanagement of waste is a global problem, exacerbating climate change. Single-use plastics are ending up in our oceans and rivers, where they leak toxins in the environment that persist for hundreds of years. Ill-disposed smartphones and obsolete computers end up leaking hazardous chemicals into soil and water, posing a risk to human life. Waste and its improper disposal are causing serious harm to ecosystems. This is why I'm really pleased that the European Parliament is working hard to put into action a circular economy. We are also looking at ways to limit the impact of plastics and packaging on our environment. I am delighted that World Cleanup Day, which I have supported for years together with some of my European Parliament colleagues, has now been added to the official United Nations calendar. World Cleanup Day has grown exponentially from year to year. So why not take part too? Seize this opportunity to participate in a worldwide campaign as a citizen or an organization to tackle the global mismanaged waste crisis. Our collective cleanup effort is paying off. So thank you for your help to raise awareness and ultimately create a waste-free world.
We are really grateful that the World Cleanup Day has such a great patron like Roberta Metsola from European Parliament. And Let's Do It World as an organization itself is a member of European Climate Pact. And I think this collaboration and work together for the Climate Pact and with the European Union and also for this region is extremely important. So we can collectively work and empower these activities for the green life in this region. And I'm really happy to say that we have also really great ambassador called Elina Nechaeva, who has made a song called There Is No Planet B. There is no Planet B. It's Elina Nechaeva is really well-known and famous artist, a soprano, also performing in La Scala, and she's from Estonia, and have made a beautiful song which is dedicated also to the World Cleanup Day. Let's see it.
Together Morning for everyone all over the world. Welcome to our Kyiv studio here by World Cleanup Day. Now we have a next guest in our studio. This is former Department Minister, Ministry of Environmental Protection and Natural Resources of Ukraine, Serhiy Vlasenko. Morning.
Morning.
What about your morning? Now it's 9 a.m. in Ukraine. What is your morning start?
My morning started around 4 o'clock in the morning after air alert, like every Ukrainian. Today was huge rocket and drones attack. It was mostly Dnipropetrovsk and Mykolaiv region under attack. A lot of explosion, a lot of emission, and black smoke around the cities. So it was hard night. And it was alert around more than 2 hours, so it's after alert you cannot sleep well, so it was early morning for today.
But everybody mood will be end. Now what about yourself now? This is your energy.
Perfect.
Everything
With
okay?
coffee, morning coffee, it's makes miracles.
This is great. Okay, let's go to our questions. We should talk about affect the environment, and my first question: how does the war affect the environment, and how long will recovery take?
The impact is massive. It's huge, and you can see it when you go to front line. Now in Ukraine we have all around Ukraine it's front line. It's every night it's like a casino when which region from 25 oblasts will rocket attacks or drone attacks, so it's everywhere. But when you go to the directly front line, north of Ukraine, east of Ukraine, south of Ukraine, there is fighting, heavy fights. So there is, you can see and you can feel the smell of this smoke. It's black, brown, yellow, white. It's all colors of rainbow. And explosion, and you see ruined cities, villages, dead villages, like in Chernobyl. You go there and no people, no anything, only explosion and burned land. So this impact you can feel there mostly. After war was started, in my university, we don't have experience what to do if war, if rockets attack, if attack for oil spots or oil factories or some damages for dam strategic. So we don't study it, and we study it on this time, wartime. We call scientists, we call professors, we ask everybody what better to do, and this impact is for hundreds years, because if you grow tree, it take for grow 100, 200, 500 years. So it's long period impact, and also now Ukraine is most mined country in the world. So now are the miners finding mines from First World War. So more than 100 years they was underground. So it's still we feel it from Second World War. So it will take decades or hundreds years for the mine this territory. And last year was conference in Swiss about the mine Ukraine. And there is Prime Minister told that in 2023 for the mine all territory, because almost third part of Ukraine is injured by war, and we have 10 million hectares of forest, and third part more than 3 million hectares injured by war, and part of this burned, part of this mined, part of this territory is occupied. It's same story with national parks and reservoirs, and biodiversity very injured, because the nature is silent victim of this war. And when it's explosion, these mines or these shells damaged animals, damaged birds, damaged trees, and forest fires take a huge amount. And last year was big forest fire in Chernobyl nuclear zone. And when it's firefighters fight with fire, before trucks go the miner, and one of the miners was dead on mine because it was second mine downstairs. So it's very dangerous for people, for foresters, for rescue services, for Ukrainians, because a lot of we have tradition to take mushrooms, to take berries from forests. So it's for long time. So it's problem for 110 years. So as told our Prime Minister back to Swiss conference, a lot of countries help us to demine our territory, and in 2023 it should, with our possibilities for the miners, it took 700 years for the mine of Ukraine. Now we open market for private companies, for NGOs, for foreign companies, and this period much less, and we have target to demine this territory for our life, for our kids grow in a safe place. So it's
And as your own opinion, my next question about the green recovery of Ukraine, and how does Ukraine need? Why does Ukraine need green recovery and protection of the environment during the war now? How it matter for Ukraine?
It's a good question, because green recovery, Ukraine is part of Europe. Actually,
it's a big part of Europe.
Yes, we have 30% of biodiversity of all European continent. So it's huge amount, big country, and we are going to European Union. We adopt European legislation, European directive, regulations. So now we have same legislation, almost same with Europe. So in our plans, don't build like old Soviet factories, industry, because it's not green. And we will build back better, build back greener. It's with all our ministries, with same line, red line, that we must rebuild it more greener, more better. So it's we must, because environmental impact it's doesn't pass if it's not green. It's logically.
Yeah, thank you. And now it's the time when we can live without digital technologicals. My next question will be about it. Please share your experience using digital tools and technology for nature and for environment monitoring.
We start digitalization after COVID. In 2020, everybody scared for this epidemic and work from homes, and it was a good preparation for war. So after war was started, we rebuilt VPN tunnels for work from houses, from cover, from shelter. And first time we work from underground. There was problems with electricity. We had with thanks partners that we had generators, we had Starlink for internet, so we can work from underground and do our best. After war was started, we think what we can do for nature, what we can do for our society, because everybody worried about nature, about what happened with our future. Because it's our house. And we create application, we create website Ekozagroza. So there is you can see monitoring posts for water, for air quality, for radiation levels. So it's very important also because now we have for first day of war was occupied two nuclear power plants. One is for now it's the occupied Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Second one it's the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe, Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. It's have 6 blocks for 1 gigawatt of energy each, and it's still occupied after Kakhovka dam was destroyed by Russians. This terroristic act of ecocide against Ukraine. So the level of water was rise, and cooling system took water from this reservoir. Now it's in danger. We don't have access there because it's occupied territory. So it's still danger for not only for Ukraine. It's just for all the European continent. Last time was when I was in Ukraine. Nuclear incident, explosion of Chernobyl nuclear power plant, society, world, because Soviet Union closed this information, made it secret, and Swedish scientists find iodium, it's marker of nuclear explosion in the air, so they alarmed that something happened in Soviet Union, because so it's far away from Ukraine, from Soviet Union, so it's across all Ukraine, because nature doesn't have borders. So also this information we put in this application about nuclear levels. Also, we made ecosystem. Now we have a lot of products. Part of them are paperless. Part of them it's regulated peopleless. So our client is business. Business fill form online, put application, put necessary documents, sign electronical sign, and they receive automatically answer with official notice. So it's without people, without part of our services doing by people, but it's also application by online, and it's without corruption, without spending a lot of time, without spending everything. So it's very calm. You can from office film form or from house, and it's business. It's very glad for it.
Yes, thank you for your answer. And you told about other countries, especially of Europe, that Ukraine is a large part of Europe and all over the world. And my next question is about other countries. What can other countries do to keep ecosystem in balance? What are your tips for planning ecosystem recovery now?
Plan of Russia was take Ukraine for 3 days. After war was started, the society of Ukraine, people was united. Like like one night you can cut it. When it's a lot of, when 1,000, you cannot cut. So it's same story with its air alert now in Kyiv. People was united, and we resilience about Russia. Yeah. Also, all democratic world united around Ukraine, and made a huge support for us with generators, with Starlinks, with weapon, with vehicles, with cars, with a lot of huge amount of help, and we stay and we fight with Russia and protect all Europe, because if we will down, all Europe in danger. Because in short period history, it's because war in Ukraine started in 2014, 11 years ago, and kids from occupied territory, from Crimea, Lugansk, Donetsk, now are grow up, and Russia put them to kill us. So our kids fighting with us. So if Ukraine will fall down, our kids will fight with Europe. with Russian propaganda, brainwashing. So what do we need from other countries? Still help us, first of all, help us with funding, with technology, with specialists, with scientists, with technology of green recovery, with architecture, all this, to help protect our nature, because as I said, nature doesn't have borders.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for that you with us. And now in our studio was our guests, former Deputy Minister, Minister of Environmental Protection and Natural Resources of Ukraine, Serhiy Vlasenko. See you soon in our studio in Kyiv.
Thank you, Denise, and thank you for really great interview. It was really interesting. And of course, as we said that being here in Ukraine, we are in the moment that we are solidarial with all the world who has a conflicts around the world today. And there is more than 60 countries in this world, which is, by the way, the biggest number of the Second World War. Limit or amounts of the countries who are in the conflicts right now. So this is a really big number, and that does have really big effect to their environment, which is also have been expressed what it has done in Ukraine. And we have Doug Weird, who is a really great expert on their conflict zones, have been studying it already many decades, and have given and he's interviewed to their column as well. And let's explore what he is talking about the worldwide level, what the conflicts are in this world, and what is the impact of the environment. Thank you.
Doug Weir is the director of the Conflict and Environment Observatory, and he joins me now. Doug, it's great to talk to you.
Michael, thanks for having me.
Now, Doug, you've been researching the environmental legacy of armed conflicts for a number of years now. So, in your opinion and in your expertise, how would you say the scale of the environmental damage in Ukraine, how does that compare to other conflicts that you've studied?
It's very significant. I think the nature of the conflict, where we see this very intense mechanized conflict, we also see widespread use of drones, missiles, attacking sites away from the front line, and also the incredibly long front line, which we've seen means that there is an incredibly high level of environmental damage compared to many conflicts which we look at, and particular environmental risks linked to Ukraine's industrial legacy, linked to its energy sector, and then linked to some of the very high profile incidents like the collapse of the Kyiv Dam.
And what about the environmental impact? We can imagine in our mind, because we see those terrible images on TV, whether it's in Ukraine or the Middle East or other conflict zones, where you see the building going down and the rubble and the physical destruction. But what I guess is more hidden, or maybe people like you have the ability to see that the rest of us don't, are the more long-term environmental impacts on the local ecosystem, on the fish, on the wildlife. What kind of things have you noticed there?
Yeah, it's a very complex question, I think, and there's many ways of answering it. I think the first thing which we can say is that we will see the environmental legacy of this conflict for decades, essentially. We have seen instances where you've had damage or pollution to aquifers and water bodies, some of which may be very long lasting. We've seen a huge amount of disruption and damage to soils, some of which are incredibly important globally in terms of their agricultural productivity. We've seen landscape fires and blast damage to hectares and hectares of landscapes, many of which are quite valuable, from protected areas, like areas rich and important for ecology. So yeah, there are very many scars. Some of them will pass fairly quickly, but others will be there for decades to come.
And you have studied, of course, as I mentioned, various conflicts around the world in the past. For example, if we look at Syria, some of the cities, for example, up to 20 million tons of debris, and just trying to get your head around how that cleanup would even start. How do you think Ukraine should approach this massive cleanup that they will have to deal with someday? They're going to have to face this huge challenge.
Well, in some respects, cleanup has been ongoing. There are many locations where rubble removal, debris management, and reconstruction of energy infrastructure, for example, has been ongoing throughout the conflict, because it's vital for the functioning of the economy and day-to-day activities. I think the rubble management is a really good example of something which is hugely challenging. You have these massive quantities of debris. You have a range of contaminants. So there's a lot of asbestos used in Ukraine, for example. So it then presents potential health risks. There are environmental risks about where you dump the debris. There are efforts to recycle as much as possible. And then you need to think in terms of the long-term climate impacts as well, that all of this concrete and cement is a huge store of embodied carbon dioxide. And so reconstruction and rebuilding, unless you do it with low carbon techniques, will generate a vast quantity of greenhouse gas emissions as well. So there are all these different environmental factors, even just as packed into something as relatively simple as debris management.
You know, for the World Cleanup Day, we're mobilizing people every year around the world to clean up, and Ukraine has always each year had such a strong presence, and people still going out at a time of war. I know that some people have been asking the question this year, well then how do you know if an area is safe with dealing with landmines and maybe contaminants? What would you say to those who are considering to get involved in this cleanup, just ordinary people who may be watching this but then are maybe unsure if a certain zone is safe or how they should proceed?
Yeah, I think it's vitally important that they seek the best advice locally on the safety of their activities. I remember we spoke to an activist from Somalia who'd been involved in World Cleanup Day many years ago, and they did have issues around explosive remnants of war, for example, which obviously need to be factored in. I think maybe one of the really important things here, and again, maybe speaks to this question around the profile of the environment in relation to conflicts, is that this is a really good example that people don't stop caring about the environment just because there's a conflict. And we see that in Ukraine, we see that everywhere we look. And there was always this assumption, certainly from external parties, saying like, surely people don't care about the environment here. But actually, civil society, communities, they care. They live in these places. They often have very profound connections to these places. And seeing the environment being damaged or destroyed is hugely disturbing. So it's a really good sign that people continue to care for the environment and still want to take these steps, I think.
And Doug, when this is over, please God, as soon as possible, you know, when they're facing the mammoth task of the cleanup, the environmental cleanup, the rubble, everything, what do you think should they look at as, let's say, a priority, or what should be the starting point?
I think it's quite interesting, particularly in the context of Ukraine, that up until the start of this summer, we've had a lot of conversation and discussion around green recovery, and the government had tabled legislation setting this green recovery idea in law, working with UN Development Programme and others, and thinking about how they can build back greener from the conflict. This question of kind of green or sustainable recovery is really important. It's quite a new one as well. But, you know, we have all these things coming down the line, like alignment with EU environmental law. We have the challenges of the energy transition to bring more renewable energy online, and also smaller scale energy to give them more energy resilience so they're not reliant on power stations that can be attacked the same way. So there are all these conversations at the moment within Ukraine about how to build back greener and more sustainably and address some of these kind of post-Soviet industrial legacies and issues like that. So I think that's one of the really key things. And we're also seeing these conversations emerging in the context of Syria, in the context of Sudan. So it seems to be this current trend at the moment, which hopefully will not just be a trend, but something which is increasingly the focus of using conflicts as this transition point to try and build back more sustainably.
Well, Doug Weir, it's a pleasure talking to you, and thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yes, when we are back in the studio, and now I'm not the moderator or not the host, but I have here a Denise with me, and Denise is really famous and really great moderator here in Ukraine.
Thank
Denise,
you so much.
and we will have now a conversation.
Yeah.
But please introduce yourself first, and then let's go to the interviews as
okay.
well.
My name is Denis Chilovsky. I introduced myself secondly today, but now it's more lightly than than was first time. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for that you're here in Ukraine, and I know you are the main person. You are the organizing this broadcast. Yeah. What is your? I want to ask you about your main emotion. Main remember about with organization. What was maybe main problem in Ukraine? If it was or the main emotion.
When I came here,
Yeah.
firstly, it's my third time to go here or to come here, and I have been here 2 times before, but it was before the war. So it definitely was absolutely another situation.
to tell their really honest way. Then the preparation for this broadcast and for the work cleanup, they took all my attention. And I was thinking, when I will be here, then I will thinking further how to be here. But of course, there is quite a lot of Estonians currently, because it's a film festival here in Kyiv about Estonian movies, and we have quite a many Estonians here. So knowing that here is many Estonians and also part of this our beautiful team here who is doing this broadcast, then I feel safe. And of course, we know that we are in really great facility right now. It's absolutely strong, and in alert time, it's really safe to be here, and we can continue with the Call Media Center work and also with the broadcast. So, but of course, in the first night here, I already was finding myself in the metro station or metro, which was the main place where to go if we have attack or alert. And it was first time for me, and yeah, it's a new emotion. And but interestingly, is thought what I have and has is still that people here is used to already to this kind of attacks and alerts. And just doing the ordinary things, and already sort of you have such a great way to inform the people with all their different kind of applications, which is saying, is it a missile bomb, or is it any other weapon, or it's a drones, and what to do in this case, and where to go, and how long it will be, and how many, and how many time you can you have for hiding yourself.
Especially now, we have an attack on Kyiv and drone going through the Kyiv. But
Exactly.
let's speak about pleasure. And I know you. I know you about 24 hours. I firstly met you 24 hours, and I want to say that this is a very big energy from you. This like sunny light from yourself.
I'm in the yellow chair. This is the light of the yellow chair, and my yellow shirt as well.
Yellow Heidi, yellow chair. Very well.
Thank you.
This is great, and I want to ask you about your mission, especially about mission of your organization. What do you see as the main mission of World Cleanup Day in the world today?
Well, I have been working with this network 10 years, and I think there is two missions. One is firstly organization mission, which is simply raising the awareness about the waste and pollution around us, and secondly, we can see that if you're engaging the people through the activism and bringing them into the action and bringing them an understanding, they will change. At least this is my story. I changed. I was part of the worst cleanup in 2008, which started in Estonia, and I was not able to do it well because it was not born yet. But this first day actually changed everything within me. So our leaders in 164 countries where we do have the network currently are working like, I want to say like a family-based organization. Sometimes we are doing the gatherings as well as a big conference to see how there are one leader is coming from one continent to hug another leader in another continent. And then I see the mission of me as a human. Of course, I'm a leader of the organization currently, and maybe it's affecting or have some influence to the organization, but I see the people without any borders. Borders are created by their people. And nature doesn't have any borders. And the contamination doesn't have any borders. So in this network, I think the beauty of this and my mission, I think as a human in this world, is to bring people together, to bring these leaders together without any borders, without any differences. What is your education? What is your background, culture, whatever it is, even religion. Simply to see that without the borders, over everything we can work together is big beautiness of this network. And the network itself is a big power of doing this World Cleanup Day. As long we can keep this momentum going, to feeling that we are the family and sharing our great stories and coming together and hugging itself, and to having the same mission to understand that we are like another country in this world, to showing to everyone and also to political persons, to anywhere where there are the limits, that collaboration in global level is possible.
This very interesting mission that we have very famous the sentence in the world that people don't change. People don't, I have only other opinion that people can change, and you do it mission that people can change, people can clean our planet and be better. But my next question is about Ukraine. Why was Ukraine chosen as international center of event this year?
There are many reasons actually. Firstly, we want to be more visible with their different kind of messages regarding of the environment and the climate, and also with their situation with the war and its influence to their environment and climate. And I think one location where this kind of international media is definitely Ukraine and Kyiv, because there's a lot of observers, a lot of platforms, a lot of media organizations observing what is going around here day and night. And we will have today 2 press conferences. One will be in their spot where Ukraine is starting the cleanup, and another one will be held here. So first is definitely messages, because our main mission with this Let's Do It World for the World Cleanup Day is to engage critical mass of the people, because with critical mass of the people we can say that by involving them we can start to change in the behavioral, in awareness. And it's really great to see that with the 8th year of the World Cleanup Day, we have been engaging institutions and business sector organizations. 2nd year, we also part of United Nations calendar with the World Cleanup Day, which is very big achievement. And we can say that it's catalyzing the cross-sectoral cooperation between different kind of parts of society. And if you think about their national level, any kind of country has its own problems. And the problems regarding the waste is different because countries are different. They have very different backgrounds, legislations, political, systems, waste management systems, even the culture is playing big role here. So I think in national level, to have the leader who we do have, and to catalyze this kind of collaboration between different kind of parties, different kind of community societies, and also with the institutions and the business sector in local level is extremely important, because they can figure out what is needed for their country in order to sustain the change, to boost the change, to find the solutions, to find the new ways how to collaborate. I think the World Cleanup Day, or actually any kind of positive act in this world, is something which bringing people together. And maybe I think I might be saying also really bold way that people doesn't have so much of ability to cooperate or be in dialogue, or to bring, as I said, sectors together and find the solutions. That is very crucial, because if you want to have the solutions in national or global level, we have to be in dialogue. To being in dialogue, we have to bring the people together, and we have to listen each other. And the willingness to cooperate, to understand that we actually have to do the change now, is very crucial. I think this is a World Cleanup Day who is catalyzing this willingness to cooperate through the World Cleanup Day, creating the platform and boosting the cross-sectoral cooperation.
Hida, thank you so much for this initiative in Ukraine, but I think especially in this time,
Yes.
We have other topics except the war, and we can be a big part of the world, especially with this mission, with these times. And about people changes. What key changes in people mindset to you things to do this initiative?
Yes, one thing what I can, firstly I want to say a massive thank you for all the volunteers, people around this World Cleanup Day, especially our network and leaders. To work with their World Cleanup Day is not easy. It's always a problem with resources and finding the ways to have the global impact, but we can do it only with their support from initiatives or big institutions, and also the government. And then it's really important. I can see from the leaders side, from our network leaders side, that they are not changing so much as well. Being 10 years, I can see the same leaders. As I said, we have family, but I think one really big drive is hope for the future. And I think also being in the World Cleanup Day, you know, it's not just picking up the waste. It's much more. It's so deep. And when you are in this deepness as a human, you can change yourself as a human. And I can see that it's a really big part of being human in this world. And I think it does have very big influence to our leaders as well. They have not growing just as environmentalists, they have been growing as a humans as well. And now, going back to 2008, when I was like, a human resource manager working in public sector with our organization with several hundred of people, we came out with our families to be the first cleanup in national wide, which was in Estonia. It's actually changed me, because after that, I started to see the litter, and I started to see that if somebody was, throwing away this litter, then I just went to them and just said really politely, oh, let's clean up together. And I always try to make the joke of being really positive, because nobody wants to have a negative or critical feedback, but always you have to keep positive. And I do believe that this, my experience, is something which is similar to other people. And you know how many times I have been this kind of feedback that people said that they were in the cleanup and they have a goosebumps. Because suddenly you start to see and think, okay, who am I, this person, or as a human in this world? I'm picking up somebody else's litter. You have so much emotions. You are angry. You want to punish someone who has been littering there. Then you are feeling proud that I'm doing it. Then if you're going to the silent, okay, what is my bonding here? What is my promise to the world and to myself? There are different kind of emotions. So I hope it's actually the same thing with other people. I have heard many about this. They have the goosebumps. Many people are working because of being in the cleanup and because they want to see their future, which is sustained and nice and with the nature, and they are hoping that their children will have this future as well. And being part and coming back to the Ukraine side, you said what is one reasons why I'm here, so why all this broadcast is here. The second reason is definitely and the most important, to draw attention to this war situation and what the war is doing for the environment. And we had really great speaker before who was actually talking about Ukraine and also contamination, and also about the dam of Kohotka it was, yes? And all this really big disaster which is influencing not just Ukraine but all the world, because their soil is contaminated. There are the biggest minefields in this world right now, and it's definitely affecting a lot of agriculture and economy, not just in Ukraine but in worldwide level. So any kind of country's problem, even with the waste, especially with the war, is a problem for all the world. The world is not big, I can say it. I can work in like 10 years with all these countries. It's very small. The borders are not there. The borders are in our minds. It's our mindset which has setting up all the borders, also to the countries.
Yeah.
But the borderless are the problems in this world caused by the humanity. So we have to change ourselves as a human, and to see that we have to work together. And the way how we brought this Ukraine was also into this attention was to talk about war situation and its cause to the environment and climate, but furthermore also to talk about post-war restoration, because I do believe that not each war will be ever. Each war and each conflict will be ending in one time. And then is a question how we can go to the normality really fast. And I know that there are super experts who are working on post-war restorations. Let's Do It World is not expert, but we are experts by bringing people and community and society together, to building the bridges between different kind of parties. So I think to bring the people and communities together, raising the awareness that we can do something post-war restoration as a society, which is also bringing a healing part in mental way, in our souls as well, is very important and crucial. This is what we can do. And I know that Let's Do It Ukraine, who is, by the way, one of the biggest environmental organizations within the Let's Do It World network, doing each year very big cleanups. And you have such a lot of young people, and you are working across Ukraine wherever it's possible, then you have this ability to bring the society together, to have strong voice, what we can do, and to build up this and restore as much as possible as a society.
Hedia, I especially love your mind about the world is very small. It's like a very big village like this. And I want to ask you about people in the world from other countries about the support organization. How can the international community support the Let's Do It World movement?
There are different kind of ways. I think they're one of their biggest problems for any kind of NGO. I'm not talking about just Let's Do It World, but any kind of NGO in this world is the resources, especially where there's economical recessions because of the wars and the tense situation in this world in political level as well. Then a lot of efforts are going to economy, sustain the economy, and therefore there is a less support for the organizations, any NGOs. But you can definitely support this initiative because we need fundings in order to continue the World Cleanup Days and all this movement. And by the way, we are not just doing the World Cleanup Day just once. All these national movements are cleaning up, I don't know, each weekend, each month, and we are doing also multiple other programs. But secondly, to go to the World Cleanup Day today, grab your family, grab your organizations, your friends, neighbors, anyone, and just go out and clean up and be bonded with the nature, and just to think that it's not just about your country, it's about the whole world. And that said, actually, we have to end up with our interview. It was really, really great.
Thank you so much.
I'm really grateful. And what we did was also to hear the voice from the Ukraine street. What happened in Ukraine street, what the people actually are thinking about the post-war restorations, or what they see the war and climate and all the environment currently in Ukraine, how aware they are about the pollution, and what are the thoughts regarding of today. Let's go to see the Vox Populi, what we have made with our partner Kyiv TV, and who recorded it from the streets from yesterday. So let's explore Vox Populi from Ukraine.
Today is World Cleanup Day, so let's ask Kyiv residents what environmental protection means to them and how it has changed during the war. What does environmental protection mean to you when you live in Kyiv during the war?
Environmental protection during the war? Well, of course, it's hard to say because it's a matter of finances that really matters. Services need to be paid and certain resources have to be allocated so that everything is cleaned and look nice. But I think in this case it will all depend on the people themselves, on the citizens, that they take a look around their neighborhood, clean up the surroundings and generally participate in taking care of at least the areas where they live.
Not littering and taking care of our land is absolutely essential. Preserving everything we can still have because it's extremely important.
And how do you personally take part in this?
We definitely take part in cleanup days. We also organize our own cleanup events. We watch how we spend time in the park with our children. Of course, kids like to play and have fun. Nobody will stop them from doing that. These are the right actions, but you must always clean up after yourself. I mean, you came to a clean place, you should leave it clean.
Thank you very much. And tell me, how has the environment around you changed? What change have you noticed the most?
Unfortunately, the changes have not been for the better because there is so much destruction, and we know that a big part of our natural resources has been destroyed. Not only that, also art objects and architectural landmarks. Unfortunately, the changes are not positive, but still the time will come and we rebuild everything, do things properly, and it will always be Ukraine.
You know, I have been into cycling for many years, and I can say that the greatest harm comes from car drivers who don't know how to clean up after themselves. They go out for a picnic, and then bottles, broken glass are left along the roadside, and all of that ends up under your wheels.
Для мене захист довкілля під час війни.
For me, environmental protection during the war is the same as in peacetime. Organizing municipal and industrial processes in line with environmental legislation. Proper garbage collection, recycling, public awareness, and education about waste disposal.
Thank you. And have you noticed any changes in the environment around you?
Well, I think it's not really connected to the war. The only thing related to it is that after heavy shelling, there are harmful substances in the air and it's hard to breathe. But otherwise, everything has changed for the worse due to new construction. There are more of them, more cars, and less space for them. And a lot of tar has appeared, which we didn't have before.
And coming back to the studio, thank you Kyiv TV, who is partnering with us and creating these work cleanup day stories from the streets of Kyiv to understand what the people are thinking about the current situation here in Kyiv and what could be the solutions or what they are doing for the future. And we are ending up again with this session. And we had quite a great stories, interviews in past session. We are moving to the new session after approximately 1 hour because Ukraine is starting the cleanup. And also we will have the press conference in the spot. So follow us approximately after 1 hour when we start our next session, which is going directly to Europe. And don't miss this part. And of course, let's do it.